What is happening, you guys? Welcome back to the Let's Go Win podcast. We are very fortunate today. We not only have one superstar, we have two today, and we are going to be talking about everything real estate with two amazing human beings. Colby Berchin is a superstar realtor in Boca Raton with nearly 60 million in sales in 2022 alone. Recent accolades include top producer at Luxury Partners Realty for the past 10 consecutive years among 90 agents and realtors. You can read all about his extensive sales volume in 2021 to 22 in the 6-page cover featuring in Palm Beach Real Estate Producers August 2022 issue. Sarina Appel is the original hype woman for world-renowned consumer packaged brands, fast fashion houses, parenting experts, NYC restaurants, bakeries, and so much more. She supports her clients in the objectives to reach consumers through tried and true media relation tactics, word of mouth techniques, strategic brand and influence partnership, as well as events. Together, they created Always in Escrow, a talk show style podcast to discuss all things real estate, design, and living your best life with a wide range of guests. Hey, you two, how we feeling?
Oh my God, what an intro. Sarina, I have never felt so good.
It's great to be with you today.
You guys are crushing it. It makes it real easy to do a show with two superstars like yourself. I guess maybe I will start with a Always in Escrow, a talk show style podcast about real estate design, and then my favorite, living your best life. That's why my company exists. So I'm going to start there because I'm just so attracted to that.
So Sarina and I mean, we're childhood best friends. So I will say that we grew up loving and watching Kelly and Regis, Kelly and Ryan, whoever you want to call it, that coffee talk, table talk, just, quick 15, 20 minutes. And we always laugh and we wanted our best foot forward. And that's where we came up with the podcast. And I thought, what better way than my best friends have banter, new clients, new people on every week and drop an episode so people could really feel us and relate to us, because it's all about living your best life. And I do that. Sarina does that. Sarina, what do you think?
Well, I want to add to what Colby's saying because let's be real. Colby is a superstar in real estate. He has a wide range of contacts and his clients are always asking him for advice. So what better way to capture it all than in a conversation style podcast where we can bring in different people. We can talk about South Florida. We can talk about everything Colby has to share about real estate and living your best life.
So why real estate, Colby? I mean, why? You have talents, you could take it in any venue, but why real estate? What was the draw, brother? What took you to real estate? Why was that such an attraction for you?
I started when I was young. I started when I was 15 years old doing rentals. I had no experience. I never worked, and I tried it. I crushed it and I loved it. And just meeting new people. I think I breathe off their energy. Like, I love meeting new people. And it kind of like went from there. And I got my license when I was 21 right away. And I've been doing it ever since. I did commercial real estate. I liked it, didn't love it. I still do it. But residential, there's something about finding someone their home or their second or third home. It's just something that plays into my heartstrings. And I love it. So that's why I got into it.
Now, having a hype woman, everybody needs this in their life. She looks amazing. She has this amazing energy to her. But to have that as your best friend and then to bring it together to where you're both succeeding, you're crushing it together. Sarina, that's got to be kind of the best of both worlds, to do it with someone I really enjoy being around, and we get to do it to help other people.
That's exactly it. I mean, I am so proud of my best friend and his success. And then I can really talk about that, bring my knowledge that I've been pretty much pulling together in my own career, bring it to the table, talk about it with him. We're just real, we're authentic. I tell it like it is. And who better than be able to hype than your best friend who's killing it?
Which is amazing. But how long have you guys been good friends? I mean, I know you're like 21, Sarina, and Colby. I guess that would put you in that same area. But how long has it been? Because I mean, honestly, you don't get to hear this very often where people are like, no, we're childhood best friends and we still like each other and we want to do stuff together. And with the male female relationship as well, because it's uncommon. It's cool though.
I mean, well, first and foremost, we're both married, so we both love each other's spouses. We both have kids. Sarina's in New York, so she's in a totally different state than me. But we started Sarina sixth grade, seventh grade.
We met in seventh grade,
Yeah.
and our relationship has evolved. What was real back then is even more real now, and we support each other in all facets of life. As we're growing up and through all of the different challenges, life's obstacles, and wins.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason I bring it up, because I think it's remarkable, when people are able to do it for so many years. And again, when you have that dynamic where you said, like, we love their spouse, we have this, you probably take family trips together and do all these fun stuff. That's actually something that's pretty admirable. It's something everyone wants in their world. Let me ask you this. With the changing market, Colby, because we're in a bit of a shift, and I totally shifted the whole conversation, but what are you seeing, brother? So we'll talk a little real estate, but what are you seeing out there in this shifting market right now?
I mean, it's come to a halt. It is literally stop, stand still, nothing going on. And I have listings at every price point, low, middle, very high. Do I still have buyers? Yes. I'm doing this 24 years, so I have a following. So I am still putting deals together. I feel bad for the newer agents that got their license during the pandemic because they thought, oh my God, I could do so well. Unfortunately, it's going to catch up to them and they're not going to be able to, stay with this. But I think we're in it for another year and a half. I hate to say that. I don't want to put any poo-poos on it. But I mean, unless you price it effectively and you have the right realtor selling your products, you're not going to win any other way.
I have to imagine, Sarina, again, I know you're a media expert is kind of what I look at. Some of the word of mouth techniques, the tried and true, I'm thinking this is going to support your best friend Colby in real estate, and it could support others. Talk about this, how we can get through this shifting market, because to your point, Colby, you didn't have to be all that good at it for the last few years. I'm not saying you're a superstar, but I'm saying average people could succeed in real estate. It's a skill market now, is it not?
100%. It's really all about relationships, being authentic, honest, and I strive to do that every time. I have never, misled someone because I feel it will just come back to you. You have to be honest.
So, Sarina, I would throw this to you to say, in your world of media, because again, we have to be skillful now. We need to be able to get our brand out there, and we need to do it in a tactful and also a genuine way. What are some of those tried and true media tactics? What are some of these word of mouth? How do we do it more effectively so that this uphill climb isn't as steep as it might be for those that don't know some of your strategies?
I think it's all about conversations. So what I do is I am connecting and I'm telling the stories of my clients to the people that want to receive their stories. So I am very strategic in how I am aligning my clients' stories with the right media properties. So I read a lot. I encourage my clients to read a lot, to watch TV, see who is talking and telling the stories the way that they would like their story to be told. And it's really just I see the market changing too for myself, and media changing as well. But I'm constantly reading. I'm constantly just really looking at all these new writers that are out there, making connections, creating alignments, and um, staying relevant, right, with topics, even staying ahead, and trying to like set the trends. And that's actually something that Colby always does. So I want to bring it back to him, but he's always kind of looking forward, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year out, for his clients to see and know what's happening in the market, what's happening on the ground. He's living in South Florida, so he knows day to day what's happening. He knows, he knows what's happening as far as like what's hot, what's moving, where people are where people's interests lie. And that's also what I do too. I'm constantly looking to see where people are interested in, just making conversation, getting people excited. And it all comes back to an aspirational best way of living, right? How we can continue to inspire ourselves daily, learn something new. So we keep reading, we keep connecting, and we keep talking.
So Colby, being that you've done this, staying ahead of the market, and again, I live in South Florida, guys, so I know that this market is wild. Since I've been here, I mean, my goodness, the trajectory was so much this way, and now it's kind of going a little bit back that way. For those that can't see visually, I'm going up and down. But Colby, what are some of these techniques that you're using on a daily basis? Sarina mentioned reading, but how do you stay up to date? How do you forecast to be ahead in such a ever evolving market? Because these are skills that you've learned since you said 15 to however old you are now. I won't say it. That's for you if you want to, but
Yeah.
how do you stay ahead of the game?
So I have always been a believer in different areas. Obviously, you want an area, good school districts, safe neighborhoods, newer housing communities that people are drawn to, because most of the country they don't have what we have, new construction. It's mainly older homes. So things like that really keep your value. So if I'm giving little hints, yes, you need to really be on the lookout for neighborhood, school district, and just overall area. Our area is Boca Raton, Delray. South Florida is the mecca for a second home for a northerner. That's my bread and butter. I grew up with these northerners. I was one of them with my family coming to Boca when I was little with a second home. It's a 2-hour flight. It's a no-brainer. You get on that flight Friday night, you're back Sunday. It's easy. I lived it. So those are some of my hints to people wanting to stay above and ahead of the game.
Colby is really knowledgeable about what's happening in the Northeast. He also has a ton of clients that are out west as well. So, what he may not be mentioning is that he's also constantly looking at trends in design, just how people are living, how people are creating their homes, what people are kind of, how they're designing their homes these days, to make it look comfortable. He's kind of using a lens that's for a West Coast kind of client or a Northeast client, keeping ahead of kind of, I know what you also like, Colby. You also love, restaurants, and, that's not residential, but it's commercial, and it's how people live, and kind of stays connected with his clients through food and some of the hottest restaurants in your South Florida area, and also in the Northeast and West Coast as well.
Jim, it's all about location, location, location. I was taught that when I was young. So if that's in your backyard, that's what you want to have. That's how your prices will stay up, and you can grow that from there.
One of the things that's so important in real estate, and it's become more important as we progressed or evolved, I guess, with social media, is this personal brand. I'm assuming both of you are pretty much experts on this. What are some of the things that you just wish everybody would get about personal branding, where you're like, oh my God, if you would just do these 2 or 3 things, because it's huge in real estate. It's continues to be big in all spaces now as social media has become so prevalent in our world. So what are some of those tried and true tactics? I'll keep going back to that because I love that terminology that
Yep.
people can be doing with their personal branding.
I always say less is more. I walk I walk into some of these houses like, whoa, okay, we got to remove some of that if we're going to sell it. But yeah, less is more, and really the organic feel. People love that organic. Like I walk in and it's simple lines, clean, not too many bold colors. You could have an accent wall, but really I think less is more. Sarina, what do you think?
I agree with you because from a messaging standpoint, it's being really clear with your personal brand's messages or your brand's messages and having at least three that are primary and then everything else is secondary. So in every conversation that you're having, it's going back to those key messages about who you are as a brand or what you're doing for your brand.
Yeah, it is amazing how much repetition it's just in this busy world and this saturated world of communication. Repeating yourself again and again is not a bad thing. Marketing firms have this down, guys. In every message, a perfect amount is 7 times in a 30-second spot or 60 seconds. I don't know the exact, but 7 seconds is what they say. Guys, I want to give you kind of open form of just to ask you what I didn't know enough to ask you guys, where you're like, JM, you should have known this and you just didn't. What should I know enough to ask you today that you're like, I got to share this with the audience before we start to wrap up?
I'll start because I think in real estate related, okay? Sometimes your best friend is your realtor and they have their real estate license. It might not always be the best person for you to sell your home. You really, especially in this type of market, it's not just putting your house on the MLS. It's more, it's a whole gamut of stuff. So let that person get a referral fee from the better agent. And that's my personal knowledge I've looked at from friends over the years. They didn't give me the listing. They ended up with someone that they were friends with. Maybe they, go to school with them, whatever it may be, not the right realtor for you. So.
What I want to add to that is just tapping in to others' expansive networks. Colby's network of contacts in South Florida is really extraordinary. And I want to honor that because he's been doing this for a long time. That's his tried and true kind of, go-to. He is a go-to resource for South Florida living. He's living it. He is helping others live it. And that's what I want to share.
That's true, JM. I just want you to know also, most people ask me always, do you have a person for this? Do you have a person for that? That was the start of this podcast. That's why I started it with Sarina. I wanted to give back because so many people always ask me. So that's really where it comes down to also.
That's amazing. We don't, or at least my wife does so much of the conversing back and forth with the realtor. But when it comes to looking for vendors, you guys know everybody. It's like, oh, you need an electrician, got a guy or gal. You need a roofer, got a person. Your contacts are substantial. And maybe people don't think of it that way. It's so much more than just a real estate transaction, buying or selling your home. It's like, you guys are a plethora. I'll use that. You are a plethora of knowledge.
It's a wealth of knowledge and like a therapist, I feel like all in one.
Well, tell me just a little bit more, guys, on living your best life. If I wanted to listen to Always in Escrow and my audience, I'm going to be a guest on your show. I'm excited for it. But if my audience is like, why would I listen to you guys? What's so cool about what y'all are doing?
Sarina, I'll let you go.
I'll jump in and I'll say that we have such a wide range of contacts that we're bringing on and talking, and we're really getting an authentic story. So we're pulling up the curtain for some people that have a great reputation, and you may follow these people, their own podcast. Well, we're going to raise the curtain. We're going to ask some personal questions. A few people that we've talked to include the founder of Moke. We've talked to other lifestyle coaching experts, founders of amazing jewelry brands. Just we're finding out how it all began, how they've gotten to this point, and what they are bringing to everybody now, and how people can find them.
And their connection to South Florida. We kind of bring it back to South Florida always, so people could, something tangible, so they could touch it too.
I mean, at this point, the whole world is coming back through South Florida at this point, right? I mean,
everyone.
You guys, I appreciate you so much for taking the time. If people wanted to connect with you online, a good place to find you, obviously go to Always an Escrow, check out that podcast, but how can they connect with you online to learn more about what you're doing, Colby, what you're doing, Sarina, what you guys are doing together?
So we're on all platforms for the podcast. We're on Spotify, Apple, you name it. Always an Escrow podcast with Colby Berchin and Sarina Appel. We are on Instagram. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Facebook. We drop an episode every Tuesday. People look forward to it. And then we go live with that person either that day or the next day, so you can ask questions. It's all about being relatable. So that's what we try and do. And that's how we're trying to get our people to follow us.
Awesome. Sarina, anything else? I want to make sure that if you have another spot, that they can connect with you as well.
Again, Sarina Appel, Colby Berchin, you can find us. Our DMs are open. Come ask us questions. We're here for this. We're your go-to experts. I'm here to talk all things marketing, all things PR. I'm here to brainstorm with the masses. And Colby, he's your go-to for South Florida real estate.
Well, you guys, I appreciate you taking time out of your very busy days. These are skillful people. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you so much. I'm grateful to have you on the show.
JM, thank you.
Thank you, JM.
You guys, whether you're looking for South Florida real estate, you're looking to be better at PR, looking better at public relations, media, all the marketing, these are amazing resources. So go check out their show, connect with them. Make sure you also subscribe, share, review, get this out there so we can continue to have amazing guests like these. And until next time, remember, your mindset matters. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for listening. If this content is delivering value to you, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. That helps us build this community, and that is what we are all about. Building this community as big as we can, helping as many people as we can, and deliver as much value as possible. Be sure to head over to letsgowinpodcast.com for information on my coaching courses, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Let's Go Win 365. Let's go win and transcend in life.
This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.